Hi everyone, welcome into another Wildcat Weekly Coaches Report. I'm Joe Stewart, and with me is head men's basketball coach Shanan Rosenberg. Thanks for taking the time, Coach, of course, but before we get into talking about the X's and O's, of course, some real tragedy hit the basketball world on Sunday with the death of Kobe Bryant and 8 other people in a helicopter crash. Of course, you guys were on the bus coming back from the trip to Eastern Washington, and obviously Kobe was a huge basketball figure in a lot of your players' lives growing up during his prime. What was it like for your team finding out about that news together and moving forward?
I think like the rest of the country, we were stunned. I think we weren't quite sure what to make of it, and certainly it was information coming out minute by minute. I was blessed enough to see him play a few times, and just the remarkable things that have come out that are beyond basketball, the impact of both Kobe and really everybody that was all the lives that were lost there. Certainly it crosses all borders in terms of categories, in terms of impacting humanity. And death always gives us a chance to reflect on our lives and our perspectives and, kind of reset what's most important. And certainly, I think something of this magnitude, I think that kind of impact is felt throughout the whole country.
Certainly, yeah. Just a really tough day for anyone who loves the sport and anybody that has, just witnessed what he was able to do and the connection that he brought to people around the world who were basketball fans or otherwise. But of course, this trip to Eastern Washington unfortunately ended in 2 losses for you guys at Whitworth on Friday night and at Whitman on Saturday night. In that Whitworth game, a real back and forth contest, and it came down to that last minute. But unfortunately, some late game execution in the second half just didn't get you guys quite across the finish line. And then against Whitman, a terrific offensive second half for you guys, but unfortunately a real struggle to get stops against the Blues in Walla Walla. What do you think that your team could have done differently execution-wise in the second half of those games to maybe change the end results?
I don't think execution had anything to do with it, at least in my definition of execution. We got a real bad set of circumstances. We outplayed Whitworth. We deserved a better outcome there. The kids deserved on both teams to decide that game, and it wasn't decided by the kids, and that's a tragedy in terms of the way that game went down. But our guys played great. Whitworth's guys played great. We executed our game plan just fine. You get a couple guys that don't shoot quite their percentages, but we only had 10 turnovers, so I'm not sure what you mean by execution. And in terms of the Whitman game, we just ran out of gas. We were good for half that game. In fact, we were great for most of that first half, but we just, you go on the road, you get your heart ripped out. I'm sitting there, holding guys crying their eyes out Friday night, and we got to play 15 hours later against a top 25 type team. We just ran out of gas, emotionally, physically. That wasn't about execution either. That was about or getting stops. It didn't matter what we did. The kids were depleted. It's a difficult situation, and I was super proud of how we played and our team. And we look forward to having them back here down the road, but now it's on to Fox and Pacific.
Sure. Well, of course, this marks the turning page for the conference schedule. We head into the final leg of the regular season with the second half of the conference season. What do you like from where your team is right now? Where do you think there are areas on which the team can improve on?
Well, I think we're doing a lot of things well. I think we're one of the best offensive teams in the league, period. You can look at that through metrics. I look at it just through how we're playing. I think we're very efficient and doing a lot of good things there. I think defense is coming of age. I think the kids have done a great job of executing our plan. I mean, bear in mind, Sam Lees has 1 made 3 on the season.
Sure.
Coming into that game. I mean, we're doing the homework, and the kids are doing a great job of doing that. But, rebounding and defense will always be things where we need to improve upon. And certainly in the games this weekend with all the pressing, ball security and decisions at speed will be important.
Definitely. Looking at that George Fox game, well, this is a team you guys were able to take care of when they came to McMinnville, but of course anything can change, and they are a team that has done really well defensively on the perimeter. That, of course, has been the bread and butter for your team with the 3-point shooting. What do you do to address that and make some tweaks to the game plan so you don't put yourself in any sort of hole on that type of attack?
With regards to George Fox?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, it's just, you got to handle their pressure and guard their 5-out stuff. And, Lacey and Januik and Altstrom and some of those guys that are shooters, and be mindful of them. And then, just have a balanced attack on offense and, keep getting better at trying to be us.
Sure. And then again, specific, you guys were able to come out on top 93-91, but in the conference opener last year, their team that has gotten a little banged up here and there as well, but with their depth, they can come out and surprise opponents. What do you think needs to be done to make them have a little bit more of a comfortable result than it was in Forest Grove at the beginning of the conference schedule?
Well, any winning result's comfortable by me, but I would say we're, we got to play well. We got to handle their systemic play and their style, and be able to impose our will on the game a little bit. It's really about with them, I think, ball security, and transition play,
sure,
and choosing the right pace at the right time. So if we do that well, I feel like we could have a good chance.
All right, that'll pretty much do it for this edition of the weekly Wildcat Coaches Report. Again, the Cats will be at George Fox on Friday night and then hosting Pacific on Saturday. That'll be our big game bash presented by Jimmy John's. We'll be giving out 150 free sandwiches to the first fans to arrive for those two games. And Cats will be looking to start the second half of conference play on the right foot, improving on their 6-2 record. Coach Rose, thanks for the time.
You bet.